All right, so today, 2015 Mercedes CLA 250 had a complaint of all the warning lights on the dash for the ABS, traction, stability, etc., etc. I had a code in it for a failed right front wheel speed sensor, which is what we're going to replace today. So I couldn't find my tripod, so I'm going to do the best I can with what I got. I went ahead and lifted the car up. There's a pad right there. That's where your floor jack is supposed to go. So that's where I actually lifted it. And then I put a jack stand under it and moved the jack over so I could have room to get under the car. You can actually replace it without removing the front wheel. You can get to it. I'm trying to show it to you. It is, if I can get the camera to focus. Not a lot of room under here. But it's this guy right here. That's your wheel speed sensor for the right front. So the procedure will be the same for the driver's front. Just make sure that the rear of the wheel is pointed out, you know. So in this case, since I'm replacing this side, I have it turned like I'm going to make a left turn. So the rear of the, I'll get back out and show you. But yeah, you can get to it without actually taking the wheel off. That weird looking bolt there is an E10 Torx socket. So you need something like that. It's an E10. It'll look like that right there, 6-point. And then, if you'll notice, you'll follow the wiring. It goes down, it runs along the control arm, and winds up underneath this cover here, which you'll have to take off to unplug it. And so you have an 8mm bolt there, a 10mm plastic retaining nut, and then a little push rivet type fastener right there that you have to take loose. This whole panel will lower, and then you'll see where you can unplug it to replace the sensor. So just make sure you jack the car up, that you put a jack stand under it for safety reasons. And that's what I was telling you, just make sure the wheel is turned so that the back of whatever side you're working on is pointed out, and then you can get underneath it and get to it. So let me take a few items off and I'll start the video back once I get a few things off. So I forgot to mention there are 2 small push pins there that'll have to come out as well. And I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but anytime you're working underneath a vehicle like this, make sure you have on some type of eye protection, because that dirt and debris will get into your eye and ruin the rest of your day really bad. But that's how you remove those. Just get in behind that part, pry it out. Once you get it out far enough to grab it, or you can take a small pair of pliers and just pull that center part out, and then the whole thing just comes out like that. So let me get the rest of it disassembled and I'll be right back. Okay, so I wound up having to take a few more fasteners loose to get this thing out. There was one up there. There's a nut. Oh gosh, hold on, sorry guys. There's a nut up there, and there was another push pin back there. So I took both of those out, and you can just fold this thing out of your way. Try not to crease it too bad so it'll go back up in there correctly. But now, let's get back under here. We have our sensor that I unbolted already. It's right there. Went ahead and took the bolt out. And again, you'll follow this all the way along your control arm. And with the covers out of the way, you'll see, oh, sorry guys, that it winds up here. It goes into this little, I don't know what you want to call it, bracket, I guess, holder thing. And there's the locking tab right there. Press it up, push it to the rear of the car. That releases it. And then once you get the cord loose, they just slide up out of there. There's nothing really holding them in, just friction. Pop them out of there. And then you can get to the connector And once I get everything out, I'll show you how to undo the connector. So these connectors sit in a little channel inside of that bracket, and I just pushed it forward. So I guess in hindsight, you don't need to take it loose here. You can leave it loose. Leave it connected there. That'll leave it stable so that you can push the connector forward to unlock it, which then brings it out to you like that. And then you'll have that little release right there. If I can do that one-handed. There we go. And so then you'll just feed your wire out of the car, feed your new one back into the car, and plug it back up. Let's get out from under here so we can see what it looks like. So that's it out of the car. Here's our new part from Mercedes. And we picked it up from the guys over at FCP Euro. FCPEuro.com. That's where I buy all of my import car parts, especially if I want OEM stuff. I went ahead and bought a new bracket too. I didn't need it, but I'm gonna replace it while I'm in there. So we'll be back in just a minute. All right, so that's it installed. I wound up not replacing this bracket because I ordered the wrong one. The sensor's right, but the bracket was wrong. So since that bracket's not broken, I said, well, I'll just not charge the customer for it. It was like $5 or $7 or something. Nothing really worth worrying about. But I did want to point out a few things to look at while you're under the car, if it's your car or somebody else's. This up here is the cowl drain from by your windshield wipers. Get a chance to make sure that's not full of ick and debris and crap that can cause it to back up and not function correctly. As you see, we had some trash in there. If those things get clogged, they can cause some problems, so make sure that's free of debris. And as you can see, the sway bar end links, I don't know how well you can see them. I can zoom in a little bit. Those guys, the boot's torn on them. That's the top of it, that's the bottom of it. So I'll write that up and let her know about those. Boot's not busted on the outer tie rod. It's looking a little deflated. So again, just kind of put her on notice that maybe about the summer or next year, next spring or something, we'll look at replacing those. The lowers look okay. Of course, you want to look at things like your brakes, your CV axle boots, make sure they're not cracked or damaged or anything like that. Boot for your inner tie rods, you want to take a look at those. You can see that's the new sensor going back up underneath where it connects up in there. It was a little aggravating getting that back in the channel, but you want to make sure you secure it, because otherwise you could create a rattle with that connector bouncing around in there. You don't want your customer complaining about that. So, you know, I had to fight with it a little bit, but you can get it in there. But you also want to make sure you don't have anything leaking. Look at your transmission. That's the bottom side of the steering gearbox there, and then of course your engine, that's the transmission side over there. The engine will be back behind this cover right here, but just make sure you don't see anything obvious that you need to let your customer look at. You have control arm bushings you want to check. Just kind of give a quick visual, make sure there's no oil leaking out of your struts or anything like that, that you may want to let your customer know while you're in there. Or if it's your car, you know, put yourself on alert that you may have to give some attention to some things. But yeah, just a few items to point out that you want to take a look at. So what I'll do is bounce back out, we'll get the fender cover put on, and then I'll come back when we're in the car getting ready to clear the code. So this is what's going on our dash. Collision preventative assistance and operative. You see we got, of course I had the parking brake set, but traction, ABS, whatever that is. Another something off light, check engine light over there. We have the yellow light on our rear view mirrors there. So let's look and see what we got in the system. If I can get you focused here. right front, same will not focus. Right front wheel speed sensor malfunction. Implausible right front speed signal. Power steering malfunction. Incorrect signal there. ESP. Not that one. This one. Signal from component right front axle speed sensor, RPM sensor. So they're all related to that same sensor, and as you can see, one failed sensor can cause you to have a boatload of problems. So sometimes you see that happening, don't freak out right away. Get it to somebody, you know, reputable mechanic that's gonna be honest with you and let you know that, you know, the car isn't in fact about to die. You just need a small sensor. See you, son. So let's see, let's go back and let's clear our codes. I don't know why my camera's not focusing. I'm sorry, guys. And I'm just going to clear everything out because I know why everything was on in the first place. Clear file memory complete. Let's do a key cycle. You see that came right back. I had the car running because the battery is low, but let's do a key cycle and see. May have to clear them again with the car off. Sometimes they won't clear if the engine's running, so let's try it again. Got nothing so far, so we're gonna one more time. We're gonna cycle the ignition off, back on, and let's see if we can get it to. There we go. Run another scan on it, just to make sure we don't have any hard faults, which could indicate a problem somewhere other than the sensor. So if it was cell tripping, we could have an issue between the sensor on the vehicle side, the wiring harness or something like that. But nothing so far. So the next step past this point, I'll switch over, pull up the data for the ECM or the TCM, and I'll drive it so that I can watch the wheel speed sensors as the car is moving. Make sure we have a signal from all four wheels. So on this particular scanner, I had to go in through the ESP, the stability program. And read data stream, and then wheel speeds. And we're gonna select all, yeah, right here. Select all those. And okay. So, just gonna move the car a little bit and see what we got. Let's see if they start to read. As you can tell now, without me even going just a few feet, we have a signal in all four wheels. So what I'm going to do is get all my tools and things put away, and I'll just go ahead and close out the video here, because when I drove it before replacing the sensor, where are we at? That right front axle, that one stayed at 0, and I had readings at all the others. But that one didn't. That one just stayed at 0 the whole time. So we already know that we fixed it. I'm still gonna put some miles on it just to verify. But that's it in a nutshell. That's replacing the right front wheel speed sensor on a 2000. Another point though, as if you're hooked up to it with your scan tool while you're in the stability program, these lights will be on. As soon as you exit out of that module, those lights go off. So that doesn't mean that there's a problem. Anytime you're hooked up to it, you're reading certain modules, certain lights will come on the dash while the scanner is communicating with those modules. That's nothing to be worried about. As soon as I clear out of everything, I back out of there, those lights will go off. But anyway, That's the replacement right front wheel speed sensor 2015 Mercedes CLA 250. So I'm gonna go put some miles on this old girl and get it back to our customer. We'll see you guys on the next one.